What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be going through some tips and tricks on adjusting your Trail Armor half doors. These are our Ranger Crew doors. So there are a ton of adjustment points on these doors. To start, the door panel itself, these are all notched, fairly long. That's a little bit over an inch. So you have just an inch of movement with this handle. This is our striker bracket. Our striker bracket is also slotted. This part of the striker bracket is also slotted. This is your striker bolt. Come over here to our hanger mounts. These are slotted. This is slotted. This lower one is slotted in the back. So there's tons and tons of areas to adjust your door. This one shuts perfectly fine. But if your door is hidden down here, your door is moved way too far forward, if your door is not even hidden right here, you can adjust it. So now, I think I'm going to throw things out of whack and just show you how everything can be adjusted. So we'll start with our striker bracket.
That's it.
For this, you'll need a T40 Torx bit. So we'll just come up here and loosen this up. And you'll see, as soon as I get this loose, how that moves. I mean, that's all the way up. That's all the way down. It's a good quarter of an inch worth of movement. We'll do up here, we'll loosen this one up. And there's also going to be a 1/2 inch or 5/16 bolt on the other side that we'll need to loosen up. And just like that, the top part of our door moves. And back here in the rear, where lower hanger bracket, we'll loosen these 18mm bolts up. All right, there we go. So you'll see that bottom moves all the way. Top moves all the way. So there's a lot of room for adjustment. So no matter what the problem is with your door, it can be adjusted. One of the problems that we ran into when first installing these doors on the XP model, I believe it was, this part of our door was all the way up here. That's not supposed to sit right there. That's supposed to sit on the inside of this. So we had to slot that, be sure to move these so that it would sit right. One area, I should have done this before I loosened it up, but one area that we get a lot of questions about is the door does not close all the way. I'll do it with this one since this one's still installed. You'll see that's where the door touching the inside little plastic bit right there. That is perfectly normal, perfectly okay for your door to sit like that. Because you don't want this door to just sit there with no tension. Because if it had no tension, it would rattle. It wouldn't pop open when you hit your latch. So it is perfectly fine, perfectly normal. And it's also normal for your doors to sit a little tight in the bins when you first get them. They relax over time. It is plastic. You heat it up, you set it in the sun and it heats up, it relaxes. So it's perfectly fine. The rear is also slotted at the top, at the bottom, the striker bracket in the rear. So with that being said, And now I'm going to go through and retighten everything just to show you that the adjustment can be done so that it can be closed again. So the first thing I like to do, go to the back, kind of set the door where you think it's going to sit. If you need to fill this gap in a little bit, you can pull the door in. That just close that gap. If there's one at the bottom, you pull it up.
Right.
You also, on this bottom corner, you don't want it to rub up against this. So make sure there's at least a little bit of a gap underneath there when you're adjusting it. But first thing I like to do, just grab the door, set it where you think it goes. Reach back here. This is kind of awkward. Reach back in the back with your 18mm wrench. Just tighten these bolts down. Well, be gentle with it. Don't round it over. Now that those are tight, reach over. Grab your T40. Well, and just like that, the adjustment that I had just moved. But that's perfectly fine. That's part of it. This can be rather time consuming. So just take your time, be patient with it. Make sure that those sit right. We'll grab our 1/2 inch wrench for a 5/16 bolt. Probably could use a ratchet on this.
Okay.
Make sure that's snug. Make sure our top is snug. Go back to the 18mm. Make sure both of those are snug. So now that those are snug, you'll notice on the bottom, we're not touching on the bottom. It's just sitting right above it. So that is a good spot. The gap up here, this door panel still hits this plastic. So now we move to our striker bracket. Grab your T40. So you want your door, you want your striker bolt to sit flush within this little gap in the handle. So if it helps, just kind of latch it, see where it sits. If we were to move this up, it would run into our handle. If we were to move it down a little bit, it's still closed, but it would hit our handle. You want it to sit right in the middle of it. So get it where you want it. And tighten it up. And that is how you adjust the doors. So like I said with the rear, it's supposed to have tension. That's with the door touching the plastic on the inside. It's supposed to sit like that. You get in, you close the door. That's not going anywhere. It's not moving. It's not rattling. So that way when you pop it open, it swings open. And that can be done on the driver's side as well as the passenger side for both your regular 1000s and your XP models. And that is how you finally tune our doors.